It's July, and can you believe, as a division opponent, the Reds are making their first trip of 2018 to Wrigley Field. It's the first of 3 in a weekend set. Reds and Cubs coming up. And hi again, everyone. Along with Chris Welsh, I'm Jim Day. Welcome again to Reds Baseball, and welcome to the friendly confines. The Reds, well, first trip to Wrigley, but the Cubs have played all 9 of their games in 2018 already in Cincinnati, and so far, so good in that category for the Reds.
Well, do you think that the Cubs may be laying in the weeds for the Reds, after that 4-game sweep back in Cincinnati? If you watch Reds Live, we told you all about it. But you can see what they've done this year. They're 6-3. Last year, 7-12. Year before that, and then in 2015, I don't even want to look at those numbers. They're so ugly right there. But maybe, just maybe, the worm has turned.
And they'll give the ball to right-hander Tyler Mahle. He'll make his first appearance in Wrigley Field, but he's been on somewhat of a roll.
Of all the young pitchers that the Reds had in spring training, and remember they told us that there weren't enough spots in the rotation for them all? Tyler Mahle has established himself as the guy that has really solidified a spot in the Major League rotation going forward. He's got good command. He's still working on a slider to get a good feel of that, but he's striking out a lot of batters. And the one thing I think left for Tyler Mahle is to try to get him a little deeper into games. Hard to do when you're having so many strikeouts.
Well, since that 4-game sweep, it was a bit of a wake-up call for this Cubs team because they're 7-2 over that stretch, and boy, has the offense turned up for Joe Maddon.
Well, they're scoring a lot of runs. In the last 8 games, they've scored at least 5 runs in every one of those games. You see what they've done since June the 25th. Their record is first. Their average runs per game is first. They're getting on base. They're slugging. They're a complete team. There's no question about it. And those that have watched the Cubs have said it's only a matter of time until they begin to show it. They are showing it now.
They've been without Chris Bryant, but boy, has Javier Baez picked up the slack.
Mr. Excitement, he's over at third base today where Bryant normally plays. His average is over 440 in the last 8 games. He's getting it going. He's stealing bases, every one of them, including home.
Well, the Cubs will call on a left-handed pitcher this afternoon here at Wrigley Field, and Reds have been pretty good in that category. We'll talk about that and more coming up. Reds and Cubbies from Chi-Town. Straight ahead. Cubs coming up on Fox Sports Ohio. Mike Montgomery, the left-hander, will get the ball for the Cubs, and the Reds saw him in that 4-game sweep at Great American Ballpark. Well,
he's the guy that's not overpowering. He sure has picked up the slack, though, for the Cubs since Yu Darvish has moved into the disabled list. They're trying to find somebody in the lineup or rotation going to give them consistency. Well, I would say the delivery by Mike Montgomery, the left-hander, has given them exactly that. 2.4 run average over that period of time. Good curveball, gets ahead with it, puts hitters away with it. He's a tough guy for the Reds here this afternoon.
The good news on that front is the Reds have guys in the middle of the lineup that have fared very well against left-handers this season.
Well, the Reds overall are 12 and 11 against left-handed pitchers, but you can see where the highest batting averages are against lefties. Arenado, Freeman, and then when the Reds take over, Schebler, Jeanette, and Suarez. And this is only the batting averages against. When you start looking at on-base percentages, the Reds are right there, including Suarez, with a .460 on-base percentage against lefties. That's why the Reds are where they are overall this year.
And look at the teams that are on that list with Yankees, Cubs, defending world champion Astros, and the Indians, all good clubs. Well, you better believe the Cubs are going to look for little payback. Sweeps away. Jeff LaCoro has more on that here on the home of the Reds, Fox Sports Ohio.
Your Tri-State Chevy dealers. By Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time. And step up to GMC with nearly $4,000 in purchase cash on an Acadia Denali when you finance through GM Financial. The game storylines presented by Elk and Elk. It's the Reds and the Cubs. A breakdown of the season. The first 5 games, a 2-3 record for the Reds, but the last 4, look at the difference. Runs per game, over 6 runs better. The batting average, on base percentage, and the Reds played long ball, 7 in those last 4 games. It's the first 4-game sweep of the Cubs since 1983. So back here at Wrigley, an absolutely beautiful day. Don't expect too many home runs like you saw at Great American Ballpark because the wind, as you can see behind us, is blowing in today. But let's take a look back at that Reds 4-game sweep of the Chicago Cubs.
This guy's throwing the ball well, really, really well. High drive, right center field. Jesse, yes, sir. Salami. Well, after missing with a breaking ball, Winker looks looking fastball, and boy, that is his wheelhouse right there. Thigh high, right over the center cut, and he knows it. He looks into the dugout right away. And you talk about a pick-me-up for this Reds ball club. Man, oh man.
Tying run, Votto at first base. High fly ball, straight away center. Hit pretty well, back to the wall, goodbye. Suarez has just leapfrogged Trevor Story for the league lead in runs batted in. More importantly, giving his team the lead. How about that? Little salsa there. 3-2 pitch. Oh boy! Tell me he did it! He did it! A grand slam for Anthony DeSclafani. The last Reds pitcher to do that was Bob Perky in 1959.
What a dugout celebration they've got going for Anthony DeSclafani. Wow.
No sign of a bunt on the first pitch. And a base hit into center field. They're going to wave around Billy. Here comes the throw to the plate. Cut off. We are tied. And it's into right center field. All the way into the alley. One run scores. Joey Votto has broken the tie. And he's in there safely with an RBI double. Unbelievable. 3 outs away. It would be the first 4-game sweep of Chicago since all the way back in 1983. It would be the second 4-game sweep of this season. Reds swept the Dodgers, you may remember, 4 in a row. And a 7-game winning streak for the Reds. Their longest since July of 6 years ago. And now the finishing touch on a 4-game sweep. In the air right field. This is going to do it. 7 in a row. What an unbelievable comeback today for the Cincinnati Reds. Down 5-0, then down 6-1. And they strike for 7 runs in the 7th inning. Their 3rd inning of this series, where they scored 6 or more runs. And we brought up earlier, the Cubs had not allowed 6 runs in any inning all year long before this season began. The series began.
Well, the Reds came alive in that series, the bats, and how about Anthony DeSclafani with that grand slam? Probably won't see much of that today as the wind is blowing in from the lake. So it's going to be a pitcher's duel this afternoon. And when we come back to Wrigley, we're going to take a look around the league with our Major League Baseball news and notes. That and more coming up when we return right after this.
the Cincinnati Reds.
Time now to look around baseball. It's our MLB news and notes. Boy, how about the Washington Nationals? They set a Nationals record by overcoming a 9-run deficit as they beat the Marlins 14-12. And how about Trey Turner? 8 RBI. That's a Major League record by a leadoff hitter. He tied it with 8 RBI. And the Brewers, man, they are just really playing good baseball. They beat the Braves last night 7-2 in a battle of first-place teams. And tonight, Mike Foltynewicz goes up against Freddie Peralta, so it should be a great pitching matchup there. It's a picture-perfect day here at Wrigley Field. And coming up, we'll have our lineups and first pitch. It's the first of 3 between the Reds and the Cubs coming up.
Much like the rest of the Midwest, it has been blistering hot over the last week, but not today as the Cubs take the field. Very mild temperatures here today, sunny skies, and the bleacher bums loving it here at the friendly confines in Chicago. It's the first of 3 Reds and Cubs, and here's how Jim Riggleman will send them out here today. Jose Peraza in the leadoff spot today. Scooter Gennett batting second. And it's Votto, Suarez, and Duvall, 3, 4, and 5. Schebler in right field. Kurt Casale will catch Tyler Mahle today. And the pitcher spot is 8th again with Billy Hamilton playing center field and batting 9th. Mike Montgomery, left-hander on the hill, and there are those that would say so far he's been the most valuable pitcher on this squad.
Pretty interesting, really, for Mike Montgomery, because it looked like this winter that he would be, again, a guy used out of the bullpen, more likely than not for Joe Madden, giving the team multiple innings every time he goes out there on the mound. But when Yu Darvish went down, they were in desperate need of somebody to take over, but they already had Mike Montgomery right here in the fold. He had 14 starts last year. He's had 7 starts so far this year. His numbers are very good. He picked up a win his last time out, despite giving up 5 runs against the Minnesota Twins. But right now, that's the way the Cubs are supporting his efforts.
Since May 28th, check out the ERA. And Montgomery on a list with Mahle. And we mentioned that the most valuable pitcher might be Mike Montgomery. John Lester leading this squad, but the fact, as Chris said, pitching out of the bullpen and starting and filling in for Yu Darvish, he has been very, very valuable for this Cubs squad.
Just think about what we've got today when we showed you that list, though. We've got the wind blowing in at Wrigley. We've got 2 of the best pitchers over the last few times out going against each other. We may have a good one here at Wrigley today.
Wind is howling. If you look at the flags there in center field, it looks like it's blowing to the right. The flags on top of the stadium, though, blowing in. So it should be interesting as the first pitch is in there for a strike to Peraza, and we are underway. '70-degree game time temperatures and a wind blowing at 18 miles per hour. from the north. Here comes the 1-1 to Peraza. 19th game batting leadoff for Peraza.
Yeah, this is the kind of day that if you're Jose Peraza, you might think, you know, maybe the bunt comes into play a little bit here today. And they are giving him the bunt to the right side of the infield. You'll see where Anthony Rizzo is. You've got all this area in here if you want to lay one down.
Off the glove of Baez, and Peraza reaches. And that'll be an infield base hit.
You find that 5.5 hole right there between the third baseman and the shortstop.
Peraza's now hit safely in 9 of his last 10 appearances.
Reds are a team that have a chance to get it going here early in this ball game.
Well, the first inning has been very friendly for the Reds in 4 games in July. They have outscored their opponents 8-0 in the first inning. That is now a team high 14 infield hits for Peraza. And we'll see what he has in store. And Montgomery will keep a close eye on him. Peraza 14 steals and 16 attempts this season. Jeanette riding a modest 4-game hitting streak and continues to lead the National League in batting average at .331. 14 home runs and tied for 7th in the league with 57 RBIs. Versus lefties, no problem for the lefty. And no problem for the right-hand side either. When you're leading the league in hitting, you'll have good splits like you just saw. .2-0 pitch to Scooter. It's a check swing, and it's 3-0.
Montgomery having a hard time locating. He's thrown a couple of breaking balls so far. Both of them have slipped out of his hand. And now he's trying to just get a ball in the strike zone here to keep putting the first 2 runners on base.
Montgomery needs a strike. And he gets it. Montgomery pitching that final game of that 4-game sweep that the Reds put on the Cubs. Got a no decision, 6 innings, 4 earned runs. Here's a drive hit the other way. Schwarber back to the track, and the wind just beats that one down.
Well, look at the disappointment in the body language on Scooter Jeanette right there. He hit that ball opposite field about as well as he can hit one. I mean, it had great trajectory coming off the bat. He hit it right in the sweet spot. And Mother Nature keeps it in the ballpark.
It'll be that type of day. Got to hit it on a line. Perhaps some station-to-station baseball needed here today. Here's Votto. Batting average at .294 for Votto. 8 home runs, 43 RBIs. Continues to lead the National League in on-base percentage. Montgomery pitched into the 7th in that final game of 4 that we talked about last time in Cincinnati. Allowed the first 3 runners in the 7th to reach base. And he continues to pay a lot of attention to Peraza.
Well, if you're wondering what Montgomery and how he shuts down the running game, he's given up 3 stolen bases. They have thrown out 3. But remember that with Wilson Contreras behind the plate, one of the best guns in the business.
Throw down, and Peraza's in there safely. Stolen base number 15 for Jose.
You do it on the pitcher, especially if it's kind of a slow-moving left-hander, big high leg kick. If you read the right pitch, you're going to be pretty much have a chance to get in there almost standing up.
He got a terrific jump. Now runner in scoring position for Joey. Votto 346 with runners in scoring position so far this season. Top 10 in the National League in that category.
Another wayward breaking ball. He is having a really hard time with that off-speed pitch so far.
So back-to-back 3-0 counts here for Montgomery.
Remember, Votto loves hitting on a 3-0 count.
And he looks at a strike. 91 right.
Just to back that up a little bit, Votto on a 3-0 count, and he's had 35 at bats, 20 hits, a .571 hitter, 5 dingers, and 18 driven in.
571. And he looks at back-to-back strikes. Payoff pitch, and we'll do it again. 3 straight matinees here at Wrigley. Day game tomorrow, day game on Sunday. Cubs come into today's play a game and a half behind Milwaukee in the National League Central. 49-35 record. And they're 12 games over 500 here at Wrigley. Ground ball right side. This will get Peraza to third. Second out of the inning. Here's your 4 defensive lineup for the Cubs. Pride of Middletown, Kyle Schwarber. In left, Almora Jr. In center, Jason Hayward. In right, Baez, Russell, Zobrist, Rizzo. Around the infield, Wilson Contreras hanging the signs for Mike Montgomery. And there's Baez as Chris Bryant continues on the disabled list for the Cubs, and there was rumors that he would come off for this game today, dealing with left shoulder inflammation. But boy, is Baez, as we talked about in the open, picked up the slack there. Eugenio Suarez, 8-game hitting streak for Suarez, and still tied for first in the National League in RBIs with 63. At .308 batting average, also top 10 National League, 7th. Two balls and a strike. Suarez was 0 for 3 in that last game against Montgomery, but hit the ball hard and was robbed of a base hit along the way. Count evens at 2-2, and Montgomery has been behind every hitter in this game so far.
Finally got the feel of that curveball. He may have gotten the benefit of a high outside strike zone. Suarez not so sure about that strike.
Home plate umpire is Mike Muchlinski. Here's a drive into left field, but again, that wind will knock it down. In fact, Schwarber at the end will come in. And the Reds strand a runner at third. Cubs coming up. Couple of hard hit balls in the first, but the wind beats it down, and a goose egg put up by Mike Montgomery. Here's how Joe Madden will send him to the plate today. Albert Almora Jr. will lead off. Jason Hayward, who's been hot hitting, will bat number 2. Likewise for Baez, a hot hitter. Rizzo doing the cleanup hitting. Ben Zobrist at second base. Kyle Schwarber in left. Wilson Contreras behind the plate. Addison Russell batting 8th and playing shortstop. And the pitcher spot is 9th. It's Mike Montgomery. 23-year-old Tyler Mahle will get his first taste of Wrigley Field.
Well, he's got a day in which it favors pitchers. There's no doubt about it. A couple of balls already struck by Reds that would have really given the Cubs problems had the wind been blowing out instead of in. But Mahle's a fly ball pitcher and a big-time fly ball pitcher. High fastball is his signature card.
Almora swings at the first pitch and fouls it back out of play. Got the top 2 hitters as far as average goes in the National League here. Jeanette continues to lead the way, but Albert Almora Jr. right behind him with a .329 average. And a hard hit ball. One hop right into the glove of Suarez. 1 out. Here's your 4 defensive lineup for the Reds. 4-man outfield rotation. Winker, the odd man out today. Duvall, Hamilton, Schebler. Suarez, Peraza, Jeanette, and Votto, the typical infield, except Kurt Casale will do the catching here today for Tyler Mahle.
You know, a lot of pitchers like to go out and they establish their fastball early in the game. I think for Mahle, it might be in reverse. His fastball is always there. He's got a good command of it. It's got nice backspin. He pitches upstairs very effectively. But what he really wants to establish early on is that slider. He's been working on it, getting a little bit better gradually, a little bit more at a time. But he's got to let the hitters know that he's got that pitch also.
Jason Hayward, .346 hitter his last 31 games. Only Paul Goldschmidt is better over that span. Ball lifted into left. Duvall has dealt with the wind plenty of times here at Wrigley. Gloves it for out number 2. You've pitched here when it's blowing out, blowing in, and it is a different animal, but the pitcher's friend here today.
I prefer in.
Yes.
If you're on the mound, but you know, either way, whether it's in or out, the mound at Wrigley Field gives you the feeling that you're standing right on top of home plate. It's just one of those backgrounds that makes it feel like it's not quite 60 feet 6 inches, but it's a little bit shorter. But I don't really think that the wind, the direction of, makes you pitch a different game. If you're a high fastball pitcher like Malley, you're going with your strength no matter what.
Javier Baez, just the 4th player ever to reach 20 doubles, 15 home runs, 5 triples, and 60 RBIs, along with 15 stolen bases before the All-Star break. Think about that, the 4th player ever. He joins Willie Mays, Carlos Gonzalez, and Andrew McCutchen as the only others to do that. Two-two pitch.
Now that's a safe spot with Baez up there. He's a guy that is basically hunting a fastball, although he's become very good at hitting hanging breaking balls. But he loves the ball on the inner part of the plate. Always looking for something to lift and pull.
Payoff pitch to Baez. That's Adam played perfectly. 3 up, 3 down for Tyler Mahle, an 11-pitch inning. All season long, how the Reds like to go up there hacking on first pitches. Well, look at the Cubs, the top 2 teams as far as success, batting average in that category, and hits and home runs as well. So hacking early and often in this series if that holds true. Top of the 2nd, Mike Montgomery will get Adam Duvall, Schebler, and Kurt Casale. Breaking ball floats in for a strike. .53 RBIs on the season for Duvall. Batting average, you see, still low for Adam, but in his last 16 appearances, .275 batter. And he raised that batting average, which was down to 186 at one point. 50 play by Baez, 1 out.
Baez is just such a good athlete. He may make some moves down to third base that would look unconventional for a guy that's been down there a lot. But I mean, he's just a ball player. Exciting, just bursting with talent, enthusiasm. You know, we've said it many times, he's the kind of guy that when he's on the other team, you hate him, but you'd love to have him on your own roster.
Ain't that the truth? He is one of those guys. Check swing by Schebler, appeal, and no, says crew chief Brian Gorman. We mentioned Mike Muchlinski calling balls and strikes today. Umpire at first is Adrian Johnson. Trip Gibson at third, and the aforementioned Brian Gorman. Or Trip Gibson at second, and Gorman at third. Hayward makes a sliding catch. Back-to-back nice defensive plays by the Cubs. 2 outs.
Now with Almora in center and Hayward in right, the Cubs have 2 of the best defensive outfielders in baseball. At this time it's Hayward. He's got a terrific arm. He plays just about everything out in right field as well as you can do it. And that time he doesn't even take a divot, so he's a groundskeeper's friend too.
He was on his own there. You saw that first replay. Zobrist had no idea where the ball was. Hayward had a beat on it the whole way. And here's Curt Casali. 375 batter is Casali since coming over to the Reds from the Tampa Bay Rays. That's 12 for 32. Line drive. And running it down is Almora. 7-pitch inning for Mike Montgomery. Later in today's game. Tyler Mahle before June, well, 4.76 the numbers show, but since June 1st, a 2.18 ERA. That is the largest differential in the National League. He has been terrific to watch, and coming off of a start and which he set a new career high in strikeouts with 12. It was that 18 strikeout game against Milwaukee which set a new Reds record for strikeouts in a 9-inning game. He will go to work against Anthony Rizzo here in the bottom of the second. Mahle hasn't lost since May 20th. In those 7 starts, 3-0 record and the 2.84 ERA. Per usual, a big shift to the pull side of Anthony Rizzo. And here's our StatCast, powered by AWS. Spray chart of Rizzo, and you see why they're shifting. Line drive, base hit. Here's Ben Zobrist. Switch hitter will deal with Malley from the left-hand side. Zobrist, a .296 batter. His .391 on base percentage, 7th in the National League.
Well, Zobrist is one of the best contact hitters on high pitches that you will find in the major leagues. In fact, in his last 97 swings on pitches that are up in the zone, he has missed one. That's the best, of course, among all major league hitters.
Wow. Malley ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
So that stat that I just gave you is the kind of stat that, you know, Joe Madden would get, and they get all of them, of course, but all the major league teams do. But they'll say, hey, Malley's a high ball pitcher. Zobrist is a high ball hitter. You know, he's got to be in the lineup.
Oh, 2 pitch. And it's 1-2.
Of course, I was always concerned about the low ball hitters and the high ball drinkers.
Count will hold it 1-2.
You know, to follow that up a little bit with Ben Zobrist, I mean, this is the strike zone for you right here. So you can see where his best batting averages are when you get the ball up. Somewhat unusual, really, for a left-handed hitter. Most lefties in the old days, anyway, used to like that down and in wheelhouse, but not Zobrist.
And he fouls another off and will hold it right there at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And if you start looking at his swing, at his setup, it'll tell you why. His hands are very close to his body, so he's able to protect the up and in pitch without getting jammed. And it's a really short approach to the ball. The kind of swing that really doesn't produce a lot of long balls, but gives you great contact.
Zobrist will get new lumber. Reds team winners of 13 of 17, 16 of 22, and they're facing a hot Cubs team. We talked about, since the Reds' 4-game sweep in Cincinnati, a 7-2 record, which includes 6 straight wins, a season high. And they have scored 56 runs in that 6-game streak. So 2 hot teams going head to head. A weekend set at Wrigley. Four-game series, that 4-game sweep by the Reds, just 3.3 runs per game. And since,
that's a wake-up call.
No question about it.
And Joe Madden was none too happy when they trotted out of town after losing 4 straight, I can tell you that.
Could be 2, 6, 4, 3, nope. Throw in the dirt by Jeanette. Votto couldn't pick it. So the Reds miss a golden opportunity to turn 2. Taylor made.
Yeah, this is DP lane all the way. It rarely gets even easier than this. A little flip right there, and really not under pressure at all by the runner. Rizzo was only about 3/4 of the way, not even into his slide, just an erratic throw.
And those are the toughest to pick at first base. Much easier to pick the short hop than it is that long bounce. See if it comes back to bite the Reds. And here's Kyle Schwarber. Pride of Middletown, Ohio, Kyle Schwarber. Team leading 17 home runs, but just 39 RBIs to go with that. We were talking about Joe Madden being none too pleased leaving Cincinnati after a 4-game sweep. I mean, what manager isn't displeased? But his quote was, "I was just glad it wasn't a 5-game series."
Always looking for the bright side.
Trying to. 0-2 to Schwarber.
Boy, what a good pitch right there.
One and two. Hit the other way, and right where the Reds weren't. Second base hit of the inning. And it's first and second.
I think the Reds may have learned a little something about Kyle Schwarber right there. Malley especially. You know, you're getting ahead of him with fastballs, and you think you're going to fool him with a changeup right there. But Schwarber really, you know, he goes against what the Reds thought he was going to do, which is roll over the top of that pitch and takes it the other way. So pretty good bit of hitting there by the Middletown native.
2 on for Wilson Contreras. Look out. Look at the overall numbers for Contreras, and he's been another hot hitter. 8 for 16 on this current homestand. And last time out, a tie-breaking 2-run home run and a double. Cubs finish up a 2-game sweep of the Detroit Tigers here at Wrigley. 441 batter, last 10. The Reds will try it again here. And this time, Jeanette delivers a strike to Votto. We play 2, scoreless in Chicago.
July 6th of 1933. It's the first ever MLB All-Star game played at Comiskey Park in Chicago. In the bottom of the third, Babe Ruth hit his first ever Midsummer Classic home run as the AL defeated the National League 4-2. By the way, boys, you ready for this? 20 of the 36 All-Stars in that game would end up being inducted into the Hall of Fame. You talk about some talent. Wow.
Doubt about that. Tyler Malley, Billy Hamilton, Jose Peraza here in the third. Stay in Reds history, 1938, Crosley Field played host to the 6th All-Star game. National League won 4-1. Strike 3 called. First of the day for Mike Montgomery. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Billy Hamilton, first pitch swinging. And that will bend out of play. .213 overall, but Billy, over his last 17 appearances, a .315 batter. 17 for 54. Chasing. And the count's 0-2.
You know, you hate to see Billy Hamilton pop the ball up, and maybe early in the count he ought to tell himself, anything above my waist I'm just going to take. And the pitchers have been really making no surprise about it. They get ahead and then they try to get him to chase a little bit, but you know, even a little slap job on the ground, he's got a chance.
That was Montgomery's first swing and a miss so far in this game today.
Over 30 pitches, right?
About to deliver pitch number 36.
Talk about taking pitching to contact to a whole new level.
Two. Full count. Payoff pitch to Hamilton. Schwarber. See it fall in front of him. Really an aggressive turnaround first, but a one-out base hit.
Nice level swing by Billy right there, and so he gets on here with one out. And it'll be interesting to see if he will be as aggressive on the base paths as was the other speedy guy on this roster, and Jose Peraza.
Peraza, first inning stolen base off of Montgomery. He was stranded at third base. Hamilton, the team leading 16 steals this season in 19 attempts. And while those stolen base numbers are down this year for Billy, since his major league debut back in September of 2013, leads all major league players in steals with 258. And most by the Reds ever against the Cubs since 1913. On the list with Larkin and Morgan. Now we look at.
You know, but for Billy, Reds fans are thinking, what have you done for me lately? I mean, he had 59 last year. He had 58 in 2016, 57 in 2015. So he's way off the pace right now, even though his on-base percentage is, you know, just about what it was in those years. A little better in 16 than this year, but there he goes.
And they got him picked off. Constantly goes 1 to 3 to 4.
Well, the third time in a row now that Montgomery goes over. He goes over with two kind of very quick moves, and then this one a little bit more resembling a regular pick up the leg and go to home. Not a good move by any stretch, but you know, he picked the right time to go over there. And what also helps is that you've got a left-handed throwing first baseman.
Third out of the inning. Scoreless here at Wrigley. Way tomorrow on Fox. First, Sweden will face Harry Kane and England at 9 a.m. Then host country Russia battles Croatia at 2. Matt Sigafus will be dialed in. We hope you are as well on Fox, or you can stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Addison Russell at the plate for the Cubs. The 8th batter in a scoreless game. Reds and Cubs. Russell, Montgomery, Almora against Malley here in the 3rd. We're down through this Cubs lineup, and nearly everyone over this 7-2 stretch and 6 straight wins has turned it up offensively, including Russell. 10 RBIs in his last 6 games. And during the month of June, a .329 batter. In the infield for the Reds, they will play Addison mostly straight up. Ovato's off the line at first. Swing and a miss. First one of the afternoon for Malley.
Great last 2 pitch sequence for Tyler Malley there. The previous pitch was a high fastball right underneath the hands. And this time he starts the slider off. Looks like it's got the center of the plate, but you know, you just don't feel that comfortable swinging after you've had one in on the thumbs.
Pitcher v. pitcher here. Montgomery 1 for 15 as a hitter this season.
When Malley really starts getting feel of that slider, you're going to see a rapid improvement in his ability to go deep into a game. Well, the other thing that might be missing is for Tyler to begin to change speeds on that breaking ball a little bit as you get more accustomed to the big league, the speed of the game, the experience, and so on. You have 2 speeds on your breaking pitch.
Back-to-back strikeouts. And now a quick message from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky.
Top of the order for the Cubs. 2 out batters, Albert Almora Jr. Grounded out to third his first time up. Look out. Right into the Reds dugout. A new dugout, by the way. Part of the multi-year renovation. The Cubs have new dugouts, and there are some players that have played here saying it's about time, because that other dugout drew a lot of victims, hitting the top of their head on the top of that dugout. As Jeanette can't get to it, and it's a 2-out base hit for Almora.
You know, Almora continues to do something that he does better than anybody else in Major League Baseball, which is get base hits on pitches that are 94 miles per hour or faster. He came into this ball game batting .391 since the start of 2016 on pitches 94 and up. Maybe just a coincidence right there, or it could be his approach, just trying to find a hole with a half swing.
3 hits now for the Cubs off of Malley, and all 3 have come with 2 strikes. A 1 pitch. Just misses up and in. Duvall calls off Hamilton. A hit, a man left, 3 in the books. No score.
People would never guess this, but if you go back to, say, 1960 and you measure the Cubs managers by the most number of games they have managed, only Leo DeRocher has managed more Cubs games than has Jim Riggleman. More than Baker, more than Lou Piniella, more than Joe Madden. Of course, he's going to be in the driver's seat pretty soon, and more even than Don Zimmer. So he was here a long, long time, by Cub standards anyway.
You can get a lot of people on a trivia question with that stat. Two, 3, and 4 for the Reds here in the fourth. Jeanette, Votto, and Suarez. Fly out in the first for Scooter, but on many other days, that ball would have been out of here. It was a drive to left that the wind beat down, and Schwarber caught it on the track. Just joining us, the wind blowing in here at Wrigley. Game time, it was an 18-mile-per-hour clip. And it's still howling.
Well, Mike Montgomery is one of those pitchers that really tightens it up a little bit the second time hitters see him. His batting average again, second time through the order, down around 210. A lot of times, of course, the familiarity of the hitter and the pitcher begins to favor the hitter the more you see him.
Payoff pitch. And he walked him. Leadoff base runner for the Reds here in the fourth. First walk of the afternoon for Montgomery. You could call them the big three. And they're back to back to back in the order here today, with Jeanette batting second today, Votto third, Suarez in the cleanup spot. First pitch swinging is Joey, and that'll fall for a hit. First and second, and nobody out.
You know, referring to the big three, had a little conversation before the game today with the Cubs hitting coach Chili Davis. Boy, he was a good hitter in his day. And I came over and I complimented him. I said, boy, you really got these Cubs swinging the bat here in the month of June. He said, us? What about you guys? That middle of the order you have is about as good as it is anywhere. And the Reds are brewing with a little bit of problems here from Montgomery in the fourth.
3 hits by the Reds, 3 by the Cubs. All 6 hits today, singles. Now, we mentioned with the wind blowing in, it might be that type of day. You need to play station to station here today. Now, when the Reds roll into town and getting off to a 3-18 start and the overall record not there, the fringe fan would say, hey, this is going to be a cakewalk for whoever the Reds are playing. But with that lineup, and that pitch hits Suarez. So a walk, a single, and a hit batter, and bases loaded and nobody out. But with this Reds lineup, it's a scary team to face.
Well, if you're Joe Madden, you're watching a couple of things. Number one, you're watching your pitcher walk a guy and then give up a hit by pitch. So his command is off a little bit clearly today for Mike Montgomery. But you're also watching what the Reds starting pitcher is doing, which is basically throwing the ball where he wants to. Today he's been in complete control. He's given up 3 scratch singles, and that's about it. So he knows this inning, boy, if the Reds can put a crooked number on the board, really put him in a driver's seat.
First pitch to Duvall is way outside. Contreras doing a nice job, and he's going to go out and try to settle down his lefty. .50 pitches now for Montgomery. And we're just in the top of the fourth, so both pitchers have been Very, very good, but a tough situation staring down Montgomery here. Montgomery, amongst those 50 pitches, only 26 strikes. This is way outside again.
Trouble of brewing right here. You missed that badly with a breaking ball. I mean, Adam Duvall's got to be guessing. I mean, betting the ranch. Here comes the good old number one.
Two balls and a strike. Three and one. Nowhere to put Duvall. Jeanette at third. Votto at second. Suarez at first. Three one. Hard hit ball, but foul. Full count to Duvall. Bases juiced. Nobody out. And we'll do it again. Long look in by Montgomery. Now he has what he wants. Here he comes. Line drive, base hit. This will score one. Jeanette scores, and the Reds have a 1-0 lead.
You know, when you lose to a team as much as the Reds have lost to the Chicago Cubs over the last few years, it becomes a beginning of an intimidation factor. You're just wondering if you're good enough to come into their house, score some runs, take the game from them. That base hit by Adam Duvall certainly shows that maybe the gloss is off the Cubs team, at least by comparison with the Reds, what they've done over the last few years.
Well, you heard some of the Reds players talk on the pregame show about the newfound confidence.
And there's an example of it right there. There's nothing like a 4-game sweep, which is what the Reds did to the Cubs last time they faced off in Cincinnati. But I mean, you go back to 2015, 6-13 the record was. 2016, only 4 wins in 19 games. But it's a little different story here with this team right now. A lot of confidence brewing with this Reds team.
Well, the Reds have been terrific with the bases loaded this season, and Duvall has certainly been in that as well. 7 for 17 now with the bases loaded and 22 RBIs. This could be 2. And it is. Votto scores, and it's 2-0 Reds. No RBI in the play, but 2-0 lead.
You know, Montgomery's got to like that, even though it does give the Reds an extra run. Overall, though, the Reds are able to get on the board here in this inning.
A runner on third base, 2 outs. Casali. Contreras does a nice job again. keeping the ball in front of him. And he's one of the better backstops you'll see in baseball.
This is one of those situations, I think, when you're, well, in this case, Casale's batting seventh instead of 8th, but you got the pitcher on deck. You can choose to leave the strike zone a little bit, chase a pitch that maybe a little bit outside, maybe a little bit out of your comfort zone in order to try to drive a run in with 2 outs when you have the pitcher in the on-deck circle. There's no reason to work a walk right here just because you're not getting the pitch in the strike zone.
Well, at the least, the Reds will get the pitcher up and roll over the lineup. The Great American Ballpark, your family day destination, Sunday, July 22nd. Thanks to Klosterman Bakery. You can get half-price Reds tickets, enjoy live mascot races, face painters, and more. Plus, kids 14 and younger are going to get a Tucker Barnhart Fathead, thanks to PNC Bank. For tickets, visit Reds.com. There'll be some red sprinkled in amongst the blue here at Wrigley today. This is always one of the preferred destinations to go see the Reds on the road. Run 90 feet away. If Malley helped himself here, it would be his first career Major League RBI. But he's behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Down goes Malley, but the Reds put 2 on the board and lead 2-0 over the Cubs. Cincinnati Children's ranked number 2 in the nation now by U.S. News and World Report. And by your local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. Swing into summer tomorrow afternoon. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Cubs and Reds here at Wrigley. Reds Live kicks off our coverage at 1:30 Eastern. Game to follow right here on Fox Sports Ohio, or you can stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Swing into summer presented by Click It or Ticket. And tomorrow's going to be a special day, we will have a special guest amongst the rooftops. 25 years to the day tomorrow of this famous scene when Tom Browning went up to the rooftops at Wrigley, and forever one of the most used pieces of video over and over and over again. And 25 years to the day, Tom Browning will be in that same spot. It's changed a little bit over the years, the dimensions out there. But first pitch swinging, and look where Jeanette is playing. Perfectly on Baez on a ball that was smoked.
You know, normally when an infielder makes a terrific play, say a diving grab, come up and throw the guy out, you put a little star in your scorebook next to that to indicate what a great effort. That time, the Red scouting department, their analytics, who are analyzing those hit charts, I mean, they put Jeanette like right on the spot, knowing that Baez likes to hit it up the middle, and that's exactly where that ball went.
110 mile per hour off the bat, and you can see Jeanette kind of work his non-glove hand. That got a little bit of everything on Jeanette to field that ball. Now it's 1-1 to Rizzo. Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, by the way, are hosting a party out there. Tom Browning amongst them. And we will be out there as well. Jeff Bocoro will be out there. We will revisit that great day with Browning, 25 years to the day. So look forward to that on Reds Live tomorrow and throughout the game. Three balls and a strike. Jeanette in short right field. Peraza to the right side of the bag. And only Suarez on the left side. Full count. Rizzo got off to such a slow start this season. Starting today's play is 58 RBIs, tied for 5th in the National League. So the RBI numbers are still there. And this one will drift out of play.
Nice one-handed grab. I mean, no big deal. Check him out. That's down around Steve Bartman territory, isn't it?
Right at Suarez. So back-to-back plays here in the inning with a defender right there, although Suarez playing right where the shortstop normally plays. 5-3 in your scorebook on that one. 2 outs. It's now 7 ground ball outs for Malley.
Which is really unusual because Malley is one of the more prolific fly ball pitchers in the league. His ground ball percentage is 38%. So, you know, you become a ground ball pitcher when you're about a 45% number. But today he's going against the odds, and he's going against the help of Mother Nature.
Yeah.
He's probably going to wish he has some of those ground ball days when he gets back to Great American Ballpark later in July and August.
Two balls and a strike to Ben Zobrist. 3-1. Kyle Schwarber on deck. And missed badly. 2-out walk to Zobrist, and that'll bring Schwarber to the plate. First walk surrendered by Mahle today.
Boy, it's always dangerous when this guy steps to the plate. I mean, and it doesn't matter whether the wind is blowing in or not for Kyle Schwarber. I mean, all it means is that he's not hitting it over the scoreboard. When he was first drafted out of Indiana University, young man that grew up in Middletown, Ohio. I mean, he had more raw power than anybody in the draft. Look at that swing.
Well, he is one that can cut it through this wind. If there's anyone on the field today, he would be one of them. Reds with a 2-0 advantage. It's the 7th straight game in which the Cubs have failed to score first. Yet they have won the previous 6 games. And a 6-game winning streak. In fact, the Cubs lead all of Major League Baseball in comeback wins with 26. Couple big rips by Schwarber. He's down in the count 1-2 to Mahle. There goes the runner, and he has an easy steal. In fact, he thought about third, did Zobrist. I mean, he was nearly halfway to second base when Mahle was delivering the pitch.
And I think the fact that the runner was going in there probably distracted the catcher, Casale, a little bit, and that ball bounced off his glove. Fortunately, Zobrist just doesn't have the wheels to turn that into third base. You forget about the runner right here. I mean, Zobrist doesn't mean anything to you unless Schwarber puts the ball in play.
Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Casale will complete it. Mahle strands a runner in the 4th. 2-0 Cincinnati.
This outside, the big black building behind me with the TV you can see is the Cubs offices. Restaurants abound down here. This is Clark, Clark and Addison, of course, right on the corner, two of the most famous streets here in Wrigleyville. And they have made this a fan favorite. So the game is going on. All the fans out here enjoying themselves. This is a non-ticketed area, a lot like the Banks is in Cincinnati. And I tell you what, guys, they say next year when the Reds get back, the clubhouse should be done for the visiting team as well. So a lot done here to make it a lot more fan-friendly around Wrigley.
Well, you look everywhere around here, and it's amazing what they have done. And credit the Cubs ownership for seeing the gold mine that was sitting here known as Wrigley Field. And we mentioned a multi-year renovation project. And finally, that visiting clubhouse, which is the smallest by far in all of baseball.
Oh, I mean, you're not going to miss that single wide they call a clubhouse here?
No, not a bit.
You get cozy, you get to really know your teammates.
No, when the media steps in there, the players, there's just nowhere to move. There's nowhere to be where you're not in someone's way.
They don't belong in there anyway.
It's probably a very good point. Spoken like a former player himself. But I agree. Try to get in there and get your work done and get on out of there, because that's the players' haven. And new dugouts as well. And there you see Dilson Herrera, who was called up from AAA as Hamilton grounds went up the middle, and Billy Hamilton with 2 hits here today.
Well, he had a base hit down the left field line his first time up on a breaking ball. Here another breaking ball, but he just kind of slaps it through the box and reaches first base. Now he was thrown out trying to steal. As it turned out, it was a pickoff play at first base, and he was out 1-3-6. But you know, I wouldn't think that that would deter Hamilton from trying to take a bag here.
Again, all the hits today, 8 of them between these two teams, all singles. Yeah, this will be an interesting matchup this time around. Montgomery and Hamilton.
Yeah, we saw this happen the other day where Hamilton got on, no outs. Peraza bunted him to second, and then Hamilton stole third.
Over Zobrist and into right center field. Hamilton on his way to third. And nobody out. Business of brewing for the Reds here in the 5th.
Well, what a good little bit of hitting right there that was for Jose Peraza. He has just come light years as far as stage presence in the batter's box, waiting back, keeping his head right on the baseball right there. There was a time when Peraza's head would drift forward, and by the time that he made contact with the baseball, his head was way out in front of the point of contact, and you can't drive the ball at all that way. But I mean, repetitions with Don Long and Tony Jaramillo really paying off.
2 hits for Hamilton today, 2 now for Peraza. 7 of the last 9 Reds hitters have reached base. Scooter walked in the 4th and scored on Adam Duvall's RBI hit, and time call.
You know, the stolen base that Baez had yesterday was when a left-handed pitcher threw to first base. He actually stole on the first baseman. And you wonder if that may be in the back of Mike Montgomery's mind right now. If it, you know, you got a speedster at first, you got Billy Hamilton, speedster 1X at third. And if you make a slow throw over to first base, I'm not so sure that Rizzo can get rid of the ball quick enough to go get Hamilton. We may see the same type of playoff steal at home here that the Cubs saw yesterday with Baez.
This will be deep enough to get Hamilton home. He tags up and scores, and the Reds have a 3-0 lead. RBI number 58 of the season for Jeanette. And here's Joey Votto. Montgomery will still keep an eye. Hamilton scoring, still a speedster on the base, and Peraza. And he'll throw over. Peraza steal back in the first, his 15th of the season. One and one Novato. Red's got 2 in the 4th and now 1 here in the 5th. I would love to add to it. First of a 9-game road trip to head into the All-Star break. 3 here in Chicago, 3 in Cleveland, 3 in St. Louis. Red's doing a nice job of you take them how you can get them. 2 of the 3 runs the Reds have scored have been on outs. You get guys on and take them how you can get them.
Now, the one thing Peraza has to be aware of back there is that Wilson Contreras loves the back pick. Loves to throw to first base on a pitch that's inside. That got him right on the noggin.
Not even close. The breaking ball gets away from him.
It's been a problem pitch for Mike Montgomery really from the very start of this ball game. He's really had no feel of that breaking ball.
Second hit batter of the game by Montgomery. Pitch was 75 miles per hour on the gun, and a good thing. Novato, even with the helmet. He's hit 2 batters. He's walked 2, has Montgomery.
Yeah, really the trouble didn't begin for Montgomery until the last inning. He had a very easy 1-2. He had a 3-batter 3rd inning. But last inning it all came apart with 1 out. Or excuse me, when he walked the leadoff man, and Scooter Gennett. There's that 80% rule again.
Here we are, 1 out into the 5th, and the Cubs are down to 3 mound visits. And that new rule this year where you get 6 per game, they've already wasted 3. Montgomery paying an awful lot of attention to the base runners here today. Trying to add to a 3-0 lead. A strike called up and in, and second pitch that Suarez strike called against him that you can tell he doesn't agree with Mike Muchlinski, the home plate umpire. Contreras again busy behind the dish here today. Lefty warming up for the Cubs. It's Randy Rosario. The 1-2. Ripped but foul. Just foul. Always yapping that Hamilton, and always smiling. He's ribbing someone. It's constant. There goes Peraza from second, and he's going to have to go back. And quickly, because Hayward has a gun, but he's back there. 2 outs in the inning. And the 2-out batter is Adam Duvall. One for 2, RBI single back in the 4th. Schwarber has a beat on it. Reds will strand 2 here, but they get 1. Have a 3-0 advantage. Baseball at the ballpark for only $20 with the Cincinnati Chamber Business Day Special. You get a ticket to see your Reds take on the Cardinals plus $10 in concession credits. For tickets, visit reds.com/skipwork. Some restrictions apply. And as an added bonus, Chris Welsh will give you an excuse slip for your work.
And why not? I've got a ton of them. A lot of them are still unused.
Tyler Mahle now gifted with a 3-run lead. Looper over Votto, and Contreras fights off a tough pitch, and he's on his way to second base. Throw not in time and offline. If you're going to do it, you got to have second in mind the whole way, and Contreras never let up.
Had a tough break on a really good pitch by Malley, right in on the thumbs, lifted right over the first baseman right here. And yeah, you get a feeling when you get a ball like that where the outfielders are playing, he's thinking 2 all the way, and why not?
And here's Addison Russell. So the first extra base hit of the game. And wouldn't you know it, it comes on a bloop. Tommy La Stella has climbed into the on-deck circle for the Cubs. He would hit in the pitcher's spot. This will get the runner to third. Just getting Russell. Busting it down the line.
Both these teams play hard baseball. I mean, the Cubs hustle, the Reds hustle. I think their managers demand that, you know, every bit of effort you leave right out there on the field. So we're going to get a pinch runner here in Tommy La Stella.
"14 pinch hits, the most in all of Major League Baseball."
But with that said, he is coming off just a nightmarish month where he was 5 for 35, struck out 8 times, did not draw a walk in the entire month of June. And catcher's interference. What a surprise. He tried doing that back at Great American Ballpark, where he reached back with his bat and he swung and he actually missed the glove of Tucker Barnhart, but he pointed back to the umpire. It was Greg Gibson at the time. I remember like it was yesterday. And he wanted catcher's interference. Gibson didn't buy into it, but there's the late deep swing by La Stella. The only guy who is better in baseball right now than Tommy La Stella at that is Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury has 30 or more in his career. La Stella, I think, now has 7 or 8 and gaining fast. It's a great offensive weapon if you can do it. And I'm not criticizing La Stella. I think it's a smart play. I mean, if you can get away with it, here's a guy, a team guy that'll do just about anything to get on base. And that's the kind of player you want on your ball club. But a little bit of scouting needs to alert your catcher that this guy has that in his bag of tricks.
Malley has been good at inducing the ground ball here today, and he will take one at someone right now.
By the way, the catcher's interference goes down as E2.
And there's the ground ball, but it's slowly hit. Jeanette not in time. Cubs score a run. A 3-1 game. Two-out batters, Jason Hayward. Shebler gloves it. And that'll do it for the Cubs here in the 5th. But they get a run. And the Reds now lead by 2. Head to inning number 6 at Wrigley.
live in concert on the field Saturday, July 28th. Everyone with a ticket to the Reds game will have the chance to enjoy the show from Walk the Moon. For tickets, visit reds.com/concerts. And great news, the Futures game coming up the Sunday before the All-Star game. The Reds will have 2 players on the U.S. team. Hunter Green, who had that fantastic start his last time out. Last 8, he's 3-3 with a 185 earning. And also Taylor Trammell, who's also hitting pretty well. 6 homers, 28 RBI, how about a 407 on base? That's with Daytona. So Trammell and Green will be playing in the Futures game, fellas.
That's a big honor for both, and both outstanding young men. It's a pleasure to host Hunter Green in the booth and Taylor Trammell, a youngster that was on the Reds caravan this past year. And we saw him a lot at Goodyear, Arizona as well. New pitcher for the Cubs, it's lefty Randy Rosario.
Having a really good year as Rosario. Is only 24 years old, a young man that was signed out of the Dominican Republic originally by the Minnesota Twins.
So close the book on Mike Montgomery. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He hit 2 batters. And the strikes to ball ratio, not what you're looking for. He threw 85 pitches, 47 of which were strikes.
It's one of those days where you struggle, where you just don't really have a good command at all, or release point of your slider, or in his case, it's his curveball. And that can be a tough day. You know, those kind of days, if you can turn it into what he was able to do, which was give the team 5 innings, that's a whole lot better than what it could have been.
3-pitch strikeout to Scott Schebler here in the 6th.
I watched Randy Rosario pitch, and I'm wondering how in the heck did he fall all the way down to the Cubs, and they picked him up off the waiver wire. Signed as a young man, a free agent in 2010, and the Cubs signed him November of 2017. 92 miles an hour fastball. I mean, that's a waiver claim that is just a no-brainer there.
Gets 2 quick outs here in the 6th, and now we'll face Tyler Mahle. And a first pitch strike. One pitch. Three balls and a strike. Two to Mahle. Do the 3-2 again, and here it comes from Rosario. And he walked him. Tyler Mahle draws a 2-out walk. I'll bring up Billy Hamilton. 2 trips to the plate today and 2 singles. And last time scored on Scooter Jeanette's sacrifice fly RBI. Billy has reached 4 of his last 5 trips to the plate. First pitch swinging and up the middle, another base hit. Hamilton's 3 for 3.
Well, I wonder if that may fuel the debate that has gone on. Not really top shelf debate where it's up out front, a lot of people talking about it, but Billy Hamilton has talked about from time to time becoming only a right-handed hitter. And all his 3 hits today, of course, right-handed, with the starter Mike Montgomery being a southpaw. Rosario gets a line drive past him before he can get the glove up.
Billy is open to that if they want him to do it. When he was at the worst of his struggles this year, he was very open and said, listen, I will, if they want me to hit right-handed exclusively, I'll try it because I cannot continue to struggle like this. I'll do anything to stop struggling. Raza into right center field, and that ball is caught. Jason Hayward saves the day here in the 6th. Angels at 7 Eastern on Fox, or you can stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Jason Hayward saved 2 runs for the Cubs.
We talked earlier in the game how important his defense is, and there's a great example of it. Made a sliding catch a little bit before he is some kind of pumped up.
Raza robbed and applauds himself. 1 out. So what could be a 5-1 game is still a 3-1 advantage for the Reds. Tyler Mahle will face Anthony Rizzo. There's a 1 for 2 here today. Only the 78th pitch by Malley. 1 out into the 6th. One 0. Break even pitch. And it's 1-2. Very efficient.
Been a good day. It comes from throwing strikes, having some good defense played behind you. Reds have only had one muffed play. That was a potential double play ball that didn't get done.
And on the hands, can Hamilton get there? He can.
I don't think there's anything Billy Hamilton likes more than running fast and sliding.
Whether it be on the base pass or in the field.
And usually one before the other.
Two outs and Ben Zobrist.
Well, that's a great little pitch right there for Malley. I mean, that first little breaking ball, when you're sitting fastball, that pitch has come a long way. And I think part of the key for it is he's not really trying to snap it off. He's just trying to get the feel so he can throw it over the plate. He and Kirk Casale really work well together. I was talking a little bit with Casale before the ball game about catching Malley, and he said, you know, it's like having a day off because he's so easy to catch. He rarely shakes him off, and normally where he puts his glove, the pitch is coming.
1-2-3-6 for Malley. 3-1 Reds.
Offer heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Windy day in the Windy City. And so far, so good for the Reds. A 3-1 advantage. And Tyler Malley has been terrific. The Reds will try to get him some more here in the 7th. Jeanette Votto Suarez to face Randy Rosario. Scooter's season average sitting at 330. Came into the game still leading the National League in hitting, and a lot of people on the fringe might say, oh yeah, but he hits in the hitters friendly Great American Ballpark. Well, entering today's play, a 354 batter on the road to dispel any of that notion. He's been a complete hitter.
I'm not so sure that that ballpark in Cincinnati gives you an advantage for batting average.
Yeah,
May give you an advantage for home runs if you lift them into the first row a couple of times.
Yep.
But smaller confines, less green space to drop them in there.
Agreed. Also has a gun and uses it. And here's Votto. Votto 1 for 2 here today, and 1 for 2 in his matchups with Rosario. Cubs have a righty warming up in their pen, Carl Edwards Jr. Count evens at 2-2 to Votto. Okay. And this one will drift out of play. The count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Soft liner into the glove of Russell, 2 outs. And your 2-out batter is Eugenio Suarez. Trying to advance his hitting streak to 9 games. He had a couple of long ones this year. He had a 13-game hitting streak back from June 8th through the 23rd. That's the longest by a Reds batter this season. And at the time when it was snapped, it was the longest in the majors. So 13-game streak and now a 8-game streak, which he'd like to move to 9. All-Star voting ended last night. at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. Now, there's no chance that Suarez is going to catch Arenado third base, but you got to think that he will be a manager selection. If not, it will be well talked about. Tied for first in the league in RBIs, 7th in batting average, and here does advance his hitting streak to 9 games.
Weakest contact he's made all day, and he gets a base hit on it. He hit a ball in the first inning that would have been way out of Great American Ballpark, or even out of Wrigley had the wind not been blowing in so hard. Hit it also a very well hit ball to right field. Gets a little jammed right here, but strong enough to get it into center field.
And Joe Madden will take the ball from Rosario with the righty Duvall up. The righty Edwards will come in. It's our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen.
Game, the Reds in command right now. Carl Edwards Jr. in off the disabled list. He basically missed the entire month of June with some shoulder problems, although on the year 25 games, having a typical very fine season is Edwards Jr. High spin, high fastball, big overhand curveball. He'll face Adam Duvall with 2 outs.
Duvall 1 for 3 here this afternoon, has driven in one of the 3 runs for the Reds. .95-mile-per-hour heater, and Duvall comes up empty. Duvall 1 for 4 in his career off of Edwards. That one, a home run. Opponents hitting just 145 career off of Edwards. 145. Swing and a miss. A hit, a man left. Stretch time at Wrigley.
Let's get some runs, guys. Let's get those Brewers. Hey, Votto.
How about the hey Votto from the former Red and former Cub Sean Marshall?
You know what? That's a typical Sean Marshall curveball right there.
Oh, that was nicely done. Because I guess Votto might be the only one in that dugout that played with Marshall. John Marshall, 6 seasons in Chicago, traded to the Reds back in 2011, and over 3 seasons with the Reds, appeared in 104 games, and a terrific guy. Still makes his home here in the Chicagoland area. Kyle Schwarber goes down swinging. 4 of them for Malley. He has been good, Chris.
Well, he's getting into uncharted territory, he is, at least personally, as far as getting deep into the 7th inning. And he's been good. The difference really for Tyler Malley today has been his breaking ball. And he's been working on it very hard. Danny Darwin told me before the game his side sessions have been getting better and better with that breaking pitch. And boy, did it ever show here this afternoon. Typical good command of the fastball, and that's really why he's been so pitch efficient. Only 90 pitches here so far. You know, you compare that with his last outing where he went 5 2/3 and he threw 113 pitches. And of course, he struck out 12 in that ball game. And those are the performances he's had against his Cubs team so far. So good, not so good, and today excellent.
Only one Cub has reached third base today. And that's the guy at the plate, Contreras, who eventually scored the Cubs' only run. Reds have double-barreled action in their pen. Lefty Kyle Crockett, righty Michael Lorenzen warming up. Count holds at 1-2 to Contreras. Pat Kelly, bench coach, talking it over with the skipper, Jim Riggleman. The diving Jeanette. And a base hit for Contreras, his 2nd hit of the day.
Now, both hits have gone the other way. One was a little, shot over the head of Votto into right field. He stretched into a double. This time he just scoots it right by the Red second baseman, Jeanette.
One-out batter is Addison Russell. This time Jeanette gets to it and gets the lead runner. Nice play.
Boy, Jeanette is not known for his glove work. I mean, he is an offense first second baseman, but this is a dandy defensive play. I mean, when he turns to make that throw, he puts it right on the money as he's falling away from the bag. That is slapping some leather on him.
And with that out, this is the longest outing in the career of Tyler Malley. runner on first base, and now pinch hitter, the University of Cincinnati product, Ian Happ. Fallen behind 2 balls and no strikes. Two-one pitch. Check swing. And he held up.
You know, Malley is a pitcher that if you really start looking at his delivery, he throws across his body. He starts closed, especially out of the stretch, where his left foot is actually pointed back towards the shortstop a little bit. And he misses right there, so he may be cutting his outing a little bit short unless he figures out a way to get the ball over the plate here to the next hitter. Danny Darwin absolutely going to be too late. Here comes Riggleman.
Jim Riggleman will make the slow walk to the mound. Right-hander Albert Almora Jr., the leadoff hitter, set to bat for the Cubs. And Riggleman will take the ball from Malley. 6 2/3 of terrific pitching by Tyler Malley. And Michael Lorenzen will try to pick him up as the Reds will try to hold on to a 3-1 lead here in the 7th. Two outs, and Albert Almora coming to the plate. First and second situation. These two have faced off 4 times. Almora 1 for 4. Way inside.
I think that was the most that Kirk Casale had to move for a pitch all day long. I mean, that's how good Tyler Malley was with his command today.
The 1-0. Popped it up. Jeanette fights off the sun. And gloves out number 3. And Lorenzen comes in and gets the job done. 3-1 Reds. You guys putting a capper on this. Ian Happ stays in the game. He's in center field. And a new pitcher on for the Cubs. It's former Red Luke Farrell. And he will get Shebler, Casali, and a pinch hitter. Although I say pinch hitter, Michael Lorenzen is the pitcher of record.
I don't think Jim Riggleman will make that mistake again.
So we'll wait back on that.
And really what I'm referring to is that when Michael Lorenzen came in earlier in the game, earlier this month, probably in the month of June, and came up and hit a home run when he was put in as a pitcher. And his time, he was out there for several innings. His time came around again to bat. And he was pinch hit for, and the pinch hitter struck out.
Yep.
And then the next time Lorenzen stepped through the plate, I think he had a base hit. And the time after that, didn't he hit another home run?
Home run.
That was Grand Slam week.
Sure was. DeSclafani, Lorenzen. Reds with 9 grand slams on the season, tying a club record. And we're not to the All-Star break yet. A fun club to watch. And when you're winning, obviously, very fun to watch. You go back to June 10th. And the Reds have a 16-6 record. Only the world champion Houston Astros have a better record, and that's 17-6. Nearly a month of baseball, and it has been terrific to watch. Piece of hitting by Schebler. Yet another single by the Reds. All of their hits today, singles. And the aforementioned Michael Lorenzen will indeed step into the on-deck circle. Nine hits for the Reds. Double play turned by the Cubs. So Lorenzen will bat with nobody on. Last 6 plate appearances. He struck out last time up, but single, home run, walk, home run, grand slam. And Lorenzen became the first major league pitcher to homer in 3 consecutive at-bats since Colorado's Mike Hampton way back in 2001. And you'll now see pitchers pitch differently to Lorenzen. Look at that. All other active pitchers in Major League Baseball with just 2 as a reliever or pinch hitter. And of course, not counting pitchers starting a game and hitting. Count evens at 2-2.
Breaking ball after breaking ball on this at bat. There's the other grand slammer, Anthony DeSclafani.
Lorenzen hangs tough. Farrell started game 3 of that 4-game series recently at Great American Ballpark. Didn't go well. 2 2/3 innings, 3 earned runs.
That was the emergency start, really, wasn't
Yeah.
Tyler Chatwood on paternity leave, and the Cubs were really without any options, so they gave Farrell the start. He deserved a better fate.
Yeah, he did. Well, that was a 11-2 victory by the Reds.
Well, we'll see if he challenges him right now.
Lorenzen has worked the count full. Strike 3 called. Bottom of the 8th coming. Reds Live, the pregame edition. First look at the lineups, features interviews, tech talk, and more. As always, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. And tomorrow, second of 3 straight day games here tomorrow. And Matt Harvey gets the ball. He's been pitching very well for the Reds, and he will get Tyler Chatwood. 1:30 for Reds Live tomorrow. And another 2:20 first pitch, Cincinnati time. Reds surrendered 1 run in the 5th, and that is it. Michael Lorenzen still on the hill, and he'll get the tough assignment of 2, 3, and 4. And the Cubs lineup: Hayward, Baez, Rizzo. And a first pitch strike to Hayward, who is over 3 here today. Just missed under the knees. Reaches out, fouls it off, counts 1 and 2. Two balls and 2 strikes. 41,434 have jammed into Wrigley here this afternoon on a sun-splashed day and mild temperatures. Swing and a miss. Out number 1 here in the 8th.
Off-speed pitch right there gets Hayward out in front a little bit. And that's a big out. You know, if you're the setup man, sometimes you get the meat of the order. That's the case here with Michael Lorenzen. 2, 3, and 4 in this inning. And if there's a save possibility, that would be down to the bottom of the order for Raisel Iglesias in the 9th.
Iglesias currently warming up. Kyle Crockett's still warming up as well, the lefty. After Baez, you got the lefty Rizzo, switch hitting Zobrist, and lefty Schwarber. Baez bunts it foul, and it's 1 and 2. Line drive, base hit, right field. Lorenzen adjusted his delivery a little bit on that one, a little bit of a quick pitch, and Jim Riggleman is indeed going to call on that lefty. Rizzo coming to the plate. Reds trying to protect a 2-run lead here in Chicago. The pre-game Hall of Fame induction ceremony honoring Adam Dunn, Fred Norman, and Dave Bristol. Plus, first 20,000 are going to get that Reds cap presented by Fox Sports Ohio. You can get your tickets, and for as low as $12, visit Reds.com. A high leverage situation for the lefty Kyle Crockett.
Now, this is what he's on the ball club for. First time in a long time the Reds have had a true left-handed specialist. And what he has done so well has been able to spot his fastball inside the left-handers early in the count. See if he does that right here to Rizzo, who really gets on top of the plate.
Outside. Kyle Crockett facing the lefty Rizzo for the first time in his career. Since June 15th, Rizzo hitting .316 against lefties. Up the middle, a base hit. On his way to third is Baez. And it's first and third, one out.
You know, maybe the scouting report indicates that Rizzo is not a good candidate, but in my opinion, Crockett went against what has worked for him so far, which is coming right after the left-handers up and in. And maybe maybe like I say, they feel against Rizzo that's not going to work, but it was a one-batter appearance for Crockett. Here comes Riggleman to make a move.
So Raisel Iglesias will be called upon for more than an inning save, they hope. Raisel Iglesias can come up with a 5-out save. And he'll enter in a dicey situation. First and third. Tying runs on. And the switch hitting Zobrist will hit from the left side. Schwarber due up after that from the left-hand side. When Iglesias has gotten in trouble, primarily against lefties. Raisel did not work in yesterday's game, but prior to that pitched 3 consecutive days. Count evens at 1-1. Two and one. Three balls and a strike.
Well, Zobrist is not the kind of hitter that normally goes outside the zone, especially in this case with Kyle Schwarber in the on-deck circle. He will make Iglesias throw the ball over the plate. And finally, the Wrigley Field sellout is on their feet.
Iglesias needs a strike and gets it.
Iglesias' numbers, inside the numbers, if you want to say, have really not changed since he's come on the scene. He's always averaged about a strikeout an inning, a little bit better, and he's always averaged about 3 walks every 9 innings.
Huge pitch in this game. Zobrist gets a piece.
Chased one.
Do the 3-2 again. Iglesias v. Zobrist. Hit well to center. Hamilton has room. Well deep enough to get the runner from third. Also tagging up from first is Rizzo. And it's a 1-run game. Tying run in scoring position. 2 outs and Kyle Schwarber at the plate. 3 for 7. 3 strikeouts in his career, but with a base open, he will not face Iglesias. An intentional walk. And they'll deal with Wilson Contreras. Breaking ball in for a strike. Iglesias ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, complete command right now with this at bat is Iglesias, and a smart move by Riggleman to go ahead and walk Schwarber. Righty on righty. Contreras is 0 for 4 with a couple of punch outs. I imagine he'll drop a little sidearm breaking ball on him right here. Make him chase. Hung it up there, may have gotten away with one.
Count holds at 0-2. Jeanette, hard hit ground ball, but the third out of the inning, and the Reds will carry a 1-run lead to the ninth. Today, 3 trips to the plate and 3 singles. 3 for 3 day, and it's the second 3-hit game of the season for Billy. And they have all come from the right-hand side here today, and he will lead off here in the ninth and will bat from the left-hand side against Luke Farrell. So 9-1-3 at least here in the ninth. The Reds hope more, as it's now a 3-2 game in favor of the Reds. Reds got 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Cubs 1 in the 5th, and that run in the 8th. Showing bunt and pulling it back and looking at ball 1. Two and 0. Reds have 9 hits here today, all singles. Three and 1. And he walked him. Billy has reached all 4 times, and that will draw the ire of Joe Madden. So now Hamilton on first base, this time against a right-handed pitcher. He was caught stealing back in the 3rd on pickoff play. That
was against the lefty Mike Montgomery. Raza fouls back the bunt. Raza 2 for 4 in this game. Robbed big time last time up. Diving catch by Jason Hayward. Saved 2 runs at the time. Time called.
You know, sometimes a pitcher, especially right-handers, will hold the ball varying amounts of time with a runner at first who can steal. But by the time you hold it a long time, it also gets the batter out of sync, and he'll call timeout. Chased a bad pitch.
A couple of pitches tough to bunt, and he fouled both of them off.
I think what Riggleman is trying to do is to get, of course, Billy Hamilton to second, just because of the kind of run producers that the Reds have coming up after that. Outlined them earlier with a graphic, the big three, Jeanette, Votto, and Suarez, as far as runs batted in.
One and two.
You know, Peraza, with his contact ability, you could put a hit and run on right here. Or run and hit, really, with Billy.
See what the Reds have in store on a 2-2 count. There goes Billy, and a swing. And they get Hamilton over to second base. And Joe Madden's going to come to the mound. And that'll be it for Luke Farrell. Lefty Justin Wilson has been cranking it up in the Cubs pen. He will face the lefty Jeanette when we come back. A new pitcher for the Cubs, it's lefty Justin Wilson. And he will get the lefty Scooter Gennett,
who hits lefties very well. And Wilson excels in getting lefties out. So pretty good matchup right here.
Scooter showing bunt. Bunts it hard but foul. Scooter a sacrifice fly RBI back in the 5th to run his RBI total to 58 on the season. He also walked and scored in the 4th. Went chasing way up and in. It's about as high of a pitch you'll ever see anyone swing at. Chasing again. 2 outs.
You're deep enough into the season where numbers begin to really show you something right here. And Justin Wilson's holding left-handers to a 163 average. And there's a guy that hitting 350 against lefties, and the kind of swing you get out of him there.
And now the lefty Votto. In the 9th for the Cubs, due up Russell, Ian Happ, and the pitcher spot. Balls and 2 strikes to Votto. Hamilton takes his lead from second. And a 1-2 to Votto, way inside. Count holds at 2-2. Swing and a miss. Tight one at Wrigley. Iglesias will try to protect the 1-run lead. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Toyota. For over 30 offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Bottom of the ninth in a tight one. Iglesias on the hill. Addison Russell at the plate. Swing and a miss. Jammed him inside. Counts 1-1. Challenged him up in the zone, and the count is 1-2. Sally setting up outside, and the ball's in the air. Right center field. Hamilton finds it. Shebler had no idea where the ball was. And Hamilton had a interesting route to the ball, but fought off the sun and gloves a big out.
That ball was really hit too, and the wind obviously had something to do with it staying in the ballpark. Shebler knew it was in the direction of right center field, and he took off that way, but good thing Hamilton was able to see it coming off the bat.
So the switch hitting Ian Happ will take a second at bat of the game. Happ walked back in the seventh. Victor Caratini, the switch hitter, on deck for the Cubs. Tying run reaches.
Ian Happ does it to the Reds again, coming into this ball game today, and he's already reached on twice in the 2 times he's been up, once by a walk, once by that base hit. Ian Happ against the Reds in his career has a .511 on base percentage.
Wow.
Not very nice for a former Cincinnati Bearcat.
No. Two matchups, and they've favored Iglesias so far, and way inside. Iglesias bidding for a 5-out save. He has 50 career saves, 20 4 or more outs. Beauty. 1-2. Just inside, and it's 2-2. Iglesias has what he wants from Consali. Here comes the 2-2, and just tapping it foul. And staying alive is Caratini. Full count. Now Iglesias will have to deal with the crowd on its feet. 41,000 plus. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Tying run at first base. There goes the runner, and a foul ball. Eighth pitch of the at-bat. Ground ball. Jeanette will go to first and get out number 2. Would have been a very close play at second base, and perhaps Scooter second-guessing himself.
You take the sure out right there.
Yeah.
Now you're 1 out away. If you go to second and you don't get that out, you're building up for a major disappointment. Got to remember, when a right-handed fielding second baseman, and they all are, has to field that ball, you got to turn completely square up to the shortstop to flip that ball over to him. Happ runs well. So now all that happens here is Iglesias dealing with Jason Hayward.
Tying run now at second base. Big time matchup. Iglesias versus Hayward, and a first pitch strike. Three for 17 off of Iglesias.
You know, when the Reds scored in the 4th inning and gave themselves a 2-0 lead, it was the 7th game in a row in which the Cubs opponent scored first. Yet the Cubs have won the last 6. Reds are 2 strikes away.
One strike away. One-two pitch. Two-two. 3-2. Sally does a nice job of keeping the ball in front of him and keeping Happ at second base. Javier Baez on deck should we get there. Three-two. Do it again. There's a drive, bending foul. Had him out in front. And we'll do the 3-2 yet again. Quite the battle. into left. Duvall has it, and the Reds hold on for a 3-2 win. Their 5th straight victory over the Cubs as Iglesias comes on for the 5-out save. And the Reds have taken game 1 of this 3-game set and quiets this crowd of 41,000 plus. Longest winning streak against the Cubs since 2014.
Well, it wasn't without some drama there in the 9th inning, I can tell you that. An excellent at bat by Jason Hayward, ended up with a fly ball that was the 27th out of this game, the one the Reds was looking for. And man, oh man, what a well-pitched game by Tyler Mahle. Well-played defense by the Reds in front of a packed house. Exciting day here at Wrigley Field.
Reds now winners, 14 of their last 18, 17 of 23. Reds Live post-game is coming up.